Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Pearson. I'm aide to Councilwoman Ryana Park-Shaw. Thank you so much for coming today. Today you'll hear more from Ordinance co-sponsors, Councilwoman Ryana Park-Shaw and Melissa Robinson, about the Crown Act. You'll also hear from Michele, Watley, Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet founder. She has done some work on both the Kansas and Missouri side on getting the Crown Act passed. We ask that you hold all questions to the end, but first we'll hear from Jennifer Duckworth. She is the CEO and owner of where we are now, Plush Life Beauty Lounge. And again, thank you so much for being here. We'll hear from Jennifer.
Good morning. I am Jennifer Duckworth, CEO and owner of Plush Life Beauty Lounge. I am delighted to welcome you to Plush Life. As a hairstylist, I offer a variety of protective and natural styles and take pride in servicing my clients with all kinds of texture. Every day, I use my craft to make people feel confident, beautiful, and proud of who they are through their hair. Far too many times, I've heard my clients say, while sitting in my chair, I'm going in for an interview tomorrow, so I'm getting my hair blown out, smooth, or straightened because I'm afraid that my hair in its natural curly state won't get me the job. And that is why I support the passage of the Crown Act. Black men and women should be able to wear their hair in its natural state without backlash or consequence. Far too often, natural and protective hairstyles are considered unprofessional in the workplace. And we should be able to bring our authentic selves into any environment, and the Crown Act works to bring equity and racial justice to every real issue. I am optimistic to know that Kansas City can be the second city to pass the Crown Act. Tomorrow, we start that journey, and I believe our local leaders will do the right thing and pass Ordinance 200837. Again, I am Jennifer Duckworth, and thank you for being here.
Next, we'll hear from Councilwoman Ryana Park-Shaw, the 5th District.
Good morning. As she said, I'm Ryana Park-Shaw, and I'm the Councilwoman for Kansas City's 5th District, and I thank you for being here. Thank you. So I'm proud to co-sponsor this legislation with my council colleague, Melissa Robinson, Councilwoman for Kansas City's 3rd District. As a Black woman who wears her hair naturally curly and straight, I know firsthand what it feels like to be judged by my hair. When running for office, I frequently had to make the decision, am I going to wear my hair curly today, or am I going to straighten it? Because I wanted voters to see me for who I am, but I know that hair does make an impact, unfortunately. Some people may not see the need for this legislation, but the Crown Act is a necessary step in ensuring equity and addressing implicit bias. In 2019, Dove conducted a study evaluating hair in the workplace. Their results showed that Black women are 1.5 times more likely to be sent home from the workplace because of their hair. 1.5 times more likely. In addition, 80% of Black women admitted to changing their hair from its natural state to fit in at work. Because of institutional racism, natural hair and protective hairstyles are frequently identified as unprofessional and not suitable for the workplace. Black women and men should feel comfortable enough to bring their authentic self to work without backlash or consequences. Our legislation aims to further expand the city's racial discrimination protections to include natural hair protective styles and other hair textures. Hair discrimination can be as bold as banning certain styles as dreadlocks, braids, or twists as a part of the dress code, or it can be covert, like an employer not hiring a candidate simply because they did not like their hair, or passing them up on a promotional opportunity. If passed, the Crown Act will work to eliminate barriers to employment, opportunities for advancement, and access to education. We are proud to have worked with Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, the ACLU of Missouri, and other community stakeholders to develop legislation that captures the core of the issue. This is a defining moment for Kansas City. we have the opportunity to join 2 other municipalities in passing this legislation. Again, I'm Ryana Park Shaw, Councilwoman for Kansas City's 5th District. Thank you for coming.
Shaw, next we'll hear from 3rd District Councilman Melissa Robinson.
Thank you all so much for being here today. We want to thank the owner of Plush Life for allowing us to be here and putting a voice to this conversation as it relates to discrimination, and putting a voice to an opportunity for our colleagues to allow our rhetoric to match our commitment. And this is what this is about. We talk about making an inclusive and a whole community, but oftentimes we don't have the laws and the policies that line up to that inclusivity. This is one step in the right direction that we can take to ensure that everyone in our city has an opportunity to be their authentic selves. And so we're very excited. We don't see a lot of opposition that could potentially come from our colleagues. This has been extremely well received, because we believe that in this moment in history, in 2020, when we're still having to legislate one's ability to show up and not be discriminated based on their race, their gender, their hairstyles, that this is again an opportunity for us as a community to say that we will have zero tolerance as it relates to discrimination in our community. And we know that we're a better Kansas City when we allow people to show up and to be themselves, and not to have to worry about things as natural as your hair. And so we're again thankful for the opportunity to work with Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet and a variety of policies that they're working on within the city as it relates to ensuring that we as a city are moving in the right direction. So thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you for coming and uplifting and amplifying our message as it relates to racial reconciliation within the African American community here in Kansas City and abroad.
Our final speaker is Michele Watley. She is the founder of Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet and has worked again at both the state level in Kansas and Missouri to pass similar legislation. Michele?
Thank you, Jennifer, for hosting us today and for having this moment. My name is Michele Watley. I'm the founder of Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to amplifying the voices and power of Black women through education and advocacy so that they can be more effective advocates on behalf of the issues that matter to them and the communities that they serve. Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet is named for Shirley Chisholm, if you don't know who she is. First African-American woman to be elected to Congress, first African-American woman to be nominated to run on a major party ticket for president. We work to wield the collective power of Black women, educate and train Black women, and position Black women for seats at the decision-making table. Because we know that when Black women lead, whether it be the Black Lives Matter movement or the Me Too movement, change for the greater good occurs. Councilwoman Ryana Park Shaw and Councilwoman Melissa Robinson introducing the Crown Act is an example of that change for the greater good, and their leadership is something we are grateful for on this effort. This effort has been championed, as was mentioned, in a number of states. Kansas City would only be the second city municipality to pass it if it is passed, and we're hopeful that that happens sooner rather than later. As was also mentioned, the city has expressed an interest in ending discrimination, whether overt or covert, invisible or hidden, like hair discrimination. It may not seem like an issue to many, but just imagine being 8 years old and excited for the first day of school. You sat the night before with your mother, getting your hair put in a style that her mother used to style her hair in before her, and her mother before her. You're excited to arrive to school. You get there, and you're told you have to go back home because your hairstyle does not fit grooming policies. Imagine taking a job interview for a job that you desperately want and were excited to have, being offered the job, coming down to the office to fill out the HR paperwork, and having that job offer rescinded. Imagine being a high school student trying to get a job during the summer, going through the interview, being told you're qualified for the job. You're qualified to work at Cool Crest. But we don't allow locks to be worn, so we can't hire you. These are not instances of our imagination. These are instances that happen far too often. And they are common and mark the Black experience. Rules that ban locks, braids, and twists are rooted in racist stereotypes about Black hair being unkempt, unclean, unprofessional, and not beautiful. And these rules only impact Black people because these hairstyles are traits that are characteristics to our race and culture. And that is what creates discrimination by proxy, that imaginary, covert, undercover discrimination that so many people don't know about. And that's what we're trying to end with the Crown Act. We want to ensure that Black people have the same opportunities to enjoy academic opportunities and economic opportunities, and not being blocked from those opportunities simply because of the natural state of their hair. Imagine being an NFL football player, bringing a great team all the way to the Super Bowl, and being told that your hair, your curls, could prevent you from bringing the team to the Super Bowl. Luckily, Patrick Mahomes did not have to go through that. He has a ringlet and crown of curls that we all love and adore here in Kansas City. And that has not stopped him from bringing us a big Super Bowl win. And our natural hair should not stop us from enjoying the same opportunities. So we support the Crown Act because we want to create a respectful and open world for natural hair. Thank you so much.
So at this time, that concludes our press conference. I do want to take this opportunity to let all the media know that this will be heard tomorrow in the Finance Committee meeting at 9 a.m. at City Hall, 26th floor. So we invite you to come out. We will have people there to offer public testimony. We'll also take some questions if you have any. Just kind of let us know. Any questions? Oh, Tia.
So what are the next steps? I know you mentioned the meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m., but after that, what happens from here?
Sure. So this will be heard in committee, and based off of the committee vote, it would either be passed to a full council vote so that it can become law.
And when will that happen? This week as well?
Again, it depends on committee. There's a chance that it can be advanced. There's a chance that it'll just do pass, and then we'll do the traditional wait a week, and it'll be signed the week after that. So potentially it could happen this week or in 2 weeks. It kind of depends on what happens in committee. Any questions for the council people?
Would this be, once it's passed, would this make it an ordinance violation? And then if someone or a business is found to be not in compliance, what would be the consequence? Would it be a look at their business license or a fine, or how does it work once it's implemented?
Sure. So right now the ordinance or our proposed ordinance is to expand the definition of race, and so it'd be considered a racial discrimination ordinance violation. And with that, there is a monetary fee that I don't want to be quoted on quite yet, but I know that there is a monetary fee with those types of EEO violations.
And it would apply to all employers in the city, or just ones that do business with the city?
It would apply to all employers in the city.
What was the other city that's passed similar legislation already?
I know there's a county in Maryland. Michele, I'm not sure if you know the other ones.
Cincinnati, Ohio is the only city municipality that's passed it.
Yeah. Any more questions?
It's been introduced in Kansas, as far as statewide. Has it been introduced in Kansas in previous years?
So the Crown Act was introduced in Kansas in a Bill 250 earlier this year. A version of the Crown Act was introduced on the Missouri side. On the Kansas side, it was introduced by Senator Olitha Faust-Godot. On the Missouri side, it was introduced by Representative Barbara Ann Washington. Because of COVID, the shutdown of legislatures, and a number of issues, those issues were not forwarded to the full body on either side of the state. It did pass the House committee side it was introduced on. It did not pass the committee side on the Kansas side. We're hopeful that we can work with legislators on both sides of the state line to reintroduce both acts in the coming legislative year and hopefully get them passed at the state level, joining only a handful of states who have passed it, and hopefully Congress as it continues to push the act forward.
Any more questions? All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming. We really appreciate your time.